You know, sometimes you just want to find a deck that can hit almost everything in the standard format for weakness. And you know what? This Sylveon deck can definitely do that. It's a real triple threat. And here is that list. It's actually quite incredible how many different weaknesses we can hit for. We obviously have Sylveon VMAX as our main attacker in the list. We're going to utilize this card and its max harmony attack for 3 colorless energy. It deals 70 damage plus 30 for every different type of Pokemon that we have on our bench. We have a ton of different options, including the ever popular Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, which we can use to hit for weakness against decks like Jolteon VMAX, which are very, very popular at the moment, as well as using the G-Max Rapid Flow attack to take knockouts on benched Pokemon. We also have the Blaziken VMAX, which can use Max Blaze for 2 colorless energy, deals 130 damage, and accelerates energy from your discard pile. Not only that, but we can use it against Zacian, which is another really popular card in Standard at the moment. And we also have Galarian Moltres, a card that I didn't include on the thumbnail, and to be honest, it makes this deck a little bit more of a quadruple threat than a triple threat. Aura Burn deals 190 damage for 3 energy, and you can use this to knock out things like Dragapult VMAX, which are very, very popular right now. The deck has a ton of different attacking options, but it is a little bit clunky. This particular list was the one that came first in the recent Chill TCG tournament. Oh, I almost stumbled over that one. Chill TCG tournament played by Reiji Nishiguchi from Japan. I hope I pronounced that right. I probably didn't. But you know what? The deck list is pretty good. Let's jump across onto PTCGO's ladder and see how good this thing actually is. So we have ourselves a reasonable start. We've got a couple of Sylveons here and a Moltres, which is pretty good. I think we might attach the... Oh, this is tough because we're up against Zamazenta. Let's attach the Dark Energy to the Moltres. We'll attach the Ribbon Badge and then use Dream Gift. Dream Gift is an incredibly good ability in these kind of decks. It allows you to search out a item card of your choice. I'm grabbing a Quick Ball here because we might be able to get ourselves some extra cards. There goes my Ribbon Badge, by the way. Ribbon Badge means that a Sylveon V or VMAX gives up 1 less prize card than normal, so a VMAX would give up 2 prizes instead of just 1, which I think is really, really good. But it's no longer relevant. It's just not there anymore, so not super great. Now, we are up against a Duraludon, Zamazenta, Zacian V style deck here, which is very interesting. Metal types, obviously our Blaziken VMAX will be very useful in this one, so we might want to grab that out if we can find it. I'm going to play down this Urshifu. Let's put the Ribbon Energy on the active and then discard the Dark Energy here. I'm going to grab the Remoraid. That will be very useful later, and then we can Marnie. Remove our opponent's hand and give ourselves a bunch of other cards as well. And we'll see how we go. Now, the problem with Zamazenta is that we can't hit into it with our VMAX Pokemon, so we're going to need to be smart. I'm thinking that we Magical Shot here and deal a little bit of damage. That's going to put 60 damage on that Zamazenta, which means that next turn, our Galarian Moltres V can take a knockout on this Zamazenta, and that would be fantastic if we can manage to get that to happen, but... You know, sometimes these things don't work out the way that we want them to. Obviously, they could be playing the new Crystal Cave Stadium, very likely based on what they have so far, and that would stuff our maths up quite royally. And there is that Crystal Cave, so it looks like we're going to need to Magical Shot again. Luckily, they aren't attacking. We're going to be able to get ourselves that attack if we'd like it. So... now the question becomes, what do we do? I think we're going to grab Octillery here. Octillery are really, really good support Pokemon in this deck because it utilizes so many Rapid Strike Pokemon. We can use it to grab our Blaziken V, which is fantastic. I can attach one of these Rapid Strike energies to that Blaziken if I'd like. I'm going to Marnie here. Again, draw some more cards, see if I can't get myself a little bit closer to a knockout. Doesn't look like I've got a Dark Energy here, which is upsetting, but we can Magical Shot again, and we can also replace the Crystal Cave if we want to, and I think that's probably not a bad idea. Let's do that, and then we can Magical Shot again into this Zamazenta. Oh, it's not ideal, but it's definitely worth doing, because it means that we can potentially knock it out with the Moltres down the line. Now, I mentioned in the deck profile section of this video that it can be a little bit clunky occasionally. With all of these different types of Pokemon, you aren't always going to get the ones that you want. So it is definitely worth noting that. You sometimes will find yourself in awkward situations. Luckily, our opponent is not dealing with the Marnies that we've put them through very well. So we've been given a pretty solid chance. And you know what? We can actually knock out a Zacian here. We've got Boss in hand. We've also got access to Blaziken VMAX. So that 1/1 Fire-type VMAX line is going to come in very clutch here. We're going to retreat into that Blaziken. I'm going to boss out that Zacian. I do not like the look of that. Let's evolve into the VMAX with the Sylveon. We've already got access to another Sylveon if we want one. And then we can take ourselves a knockout on the Zacian. We don't have any energy in the discard pile, so Max Blaze doesn't really matter. But we do take our first 2 prizes, and that is the most important thing. And hopefully next turn we can use one of our attackers to take another couple of prizes. If they leave the Zamazenta in the active, then Moltres V will be able to knock it out, which would be fantastic. Looks like they're utilizing Duraludon V as well, and there's Bronzong on the bench too. So they've got a lot of useful Pokemon here. Very frustrating Pokemon to deal with, but we can deal with them. We've got all of the pieces that we need to help ourselves out here. We've got an attacker that can knock out Zamazenta. We've got attackers that can hit for weakness on fire-weak Pokemon, and Sylveon VMAX itself is a strong attacker too. So I'm feeling relatively comfortable. I'm not necessarily too worried. Although, to be honest, now I am, because I forgot about Duraludon's ability, which is Skyscraper. It means that it's not affected by attacks that have, words are hard. It's not affected by attacks with Pokemon that have special energy attached to them, so that's grim. Let's grab Urshifu VMAX here, I think. Actually, no, let's grab Karina. Oh, no, Karina doesn't do anything for us. I mean, we can grab it, but we're not going to draw too many cards. Let's attach. We can retreat into the Moltres, I guess, and then Aura Burn. We have the Karina in hand, so we can draw cards next turn, which is okay, I suppose. But our Moltres is going to get knocked out this turn, so maybe not a great plan. But you know what? We can come up with something. In fact, I think what we can do next turn is we can actually hit into this Duraludon out of nowhere with another Moltres. We have Raihan, Galarian Moltres V, and as long as we can search out another energy, which we can do with Raihan anyway, if we don't top deck one, we will take a knockout here. So let's do that, because it looks like we'll top deck the energy anyway. Okay, let's do it. Moltres into the field of play. We've got Raihan. We can use that to accelerate a Dark Energy. I'm going to grab out, I think, Boss's Orders, because if we keep this hand, we win the game. I'm going to use Diaflame Wings and attach. Then I can use the Tower of Waters to retreat for free into the Moltres, and then we can Aura Burn, which is fantastic. We're going to take 3 prizes here, and next turn, if we keep our hand, we win the game. We will knock out the, Bronzong on the bench. We've managed to unprize Eldegoss as well, which is fantastic. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable here. It's a shame we haven't got to attack with any of the main attackers in this deck yet. We've not used Sylveon or Rapid Strike Urshifu, but I think this just shows how powerful this combination of cards can be. You have so many different attacking options that even if things don't go right, you can still find a way to get there in the end. That is assuming that we keep the hand, because we may just lose the hand. I've been talking about how good the hand is. You're gonna play Marnie. Marnie is going to happen. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. They're going to knock out the Moltres. We keep the boss in hand. None of the other cards in play matter. We have the Blaziken VMAX on the bench. We've got the boss in hand. We gust up that Bronzong and win the game. That Raihan play with the Moltres coming in very, very clutch there, giving us a beautiful win against this Metal Box deck, and showing off why these weaknesses are so exploitable at the moment, utilizing these Rapid Strike attackers. Max Blaze, bang, takes the knockout, and we are forced to attach energy, even though it doesn't really matter, Good on you, PTCGO. Hey, it worked, but let's see if we can get a game with Sylveon attacking. So we've started off with Blaziken. It looks like our opponent is playing Shadow Rider, so I get the feeling that Moltres V is going to be a powerful attacker again. We do have a potential attack with Blaziken VMAX in the next couple of turns. We've got some energy we can attach to Moltres. The problem with this deck that I really dislike is the fact that it doesn't have a huge amount of draw when you are in these situations. So this is a big issue that I have. Obviously, we could grab like a Oranguru or something like that. Sylveon's gonna work perfectly fine here, though. We can Dream Gift and search ourselves out an item. It's not particularly useful, but it's definitely worth doing. So let's Evo Incense here. I forgot to use Moltres V's ability. I literally put a Dark Energy in the discard pile. Oh my, it's just there. Just die of Flame Wings, I should just... And now we're getting Marnied. What, just get Marnied into nothing? Oh, well, it's something, that's okay. I can work with that. Okay. Well, I mean, this turn we could have taken a knockout on whatever's in the active. If we had have been smart enough to use Dire Flame Wings, then we may have been able to get an attack off with Moltres here. What we're going to do is we're going to attach to Sylveon now that we've made that stuff up, and we're just going to try and get ourselves an attack off with Blaziken VMAX if we can. Doesn't look like, or actually we've got the Octillery, so we could potentially search it if we want to. I don't really know if I want to, though, to be honest. Maybe I want to do something else here. In fact, maybe I want to grab, like, the VMAX is the way to go. I was about to say, maybe I want to do something else, but to be honest, I don't think that it's really going to make too much of a difference. And even if we don't get a knockout here, we are at least potentially setting up for an attack with a Rapid Strike Urshifu at some point in the game. Although, to be fair, Rapid Strike Urshifu is not a good attacker to go up against the Psychic types, but you know what? I live dangerously. That's why I sit here in the corner of the screen where my arm gets cut off every time I stick it just this little bit too far. What am I doing? What is going on? Anyway, what's my opponent gonna do? So far, I've attacked with Blaziken and Moltres, and I've not attacked with Sylveon once. I would like to attack with Sylveon. I'd love to attack with Sylveon. But here's the thing: I can only play the game as it has been dealt to me, and if people don't attack, if I'm not being given Psychic Weak Pokemon, then what's the point? This is the thing, right, is that, like, if we played against Single Strike, then we had options with Sylveon. We could knock out the Single Strike Pokemon, we could potentially get some knockouts on Umbreon, which would be fantastic. Obviously, we don't have a Grass-type Rapid Strike, which would be cool, to be honest. But, you know, we've got access to all of these different type attackers. If we were playing Rapid Strike Urshifu, then obviously Sylveon very strong in that matchup. You've seen Blaziken up against Metal types, very, very good. Now you'll see Moltres up against Dark types, hopefully. Not a lot going on in this hand, though. We can Rapid Strike Search and grab ourselves... I think we can grab ourselves a... Let's grab Rapid Strike Energy. What we can do is we can discard this Rapid Strike Energy with this research here and get some value out of Max Blaze if we'd like. I actually think that's kind of cute. Let's do that. We're going to throw down a second Moltres. I am going to Quick Ball away that Dark Energy. We're going to grab a second Sylveon. I think that seems like a pretty smart play to me. We've got a bunch of different attackers here. We can Dire Flame Wings, an Accelerated Dark Energy, and then I reckon we're going to Max Blaze here. We're going to deal 130 damage to this Shadow Rider, which is A-OK by me, and we're going to accelerate that Rapid Strike Energy to our Sylveon. So now we can potentially attack with Sylveon VMAX next turn. We could also, if we find another Dark Energy, take a knockout on a fresh Shadow Rider. We've got Boss in our hands, which we may want to use. And Moltres, obviously, a very, very strong attacker in this matchup, particularly. The only issue we're going to have is that I don't have any more Dark Energy in the discard pile. But you know what? That's fine. We'll figure out a way. We'll figure out something. I mean, we've got the Dark Energy on the Sylveon. Sylveon has one retreat cost, so we could just retreat it. And that would do the job. So I'm thinking what we're going to do is we're going to, I'm going to assume that the Blaziken gets knocked out. We're going to put the Sylveon in the active, we're going to retreat that into the Moltres, and then we're going to boss up the fresh one that's on the bench, because we want to take that knockout whilst we can, get rid of as many energy as possible. We also want to deal a lot of damage to these Shadow Riders. We do not want to give them the opportunity to win the game with Shadow Rider quickly. That's the good thing again about this particular deck. We hit for weakness, but we also have 2 prize Pokemon, which makes prizing for opponents' decks sometimes difficult. God, I am really struggling today. I'm saying long sentences with lots of information. Maybe I should just consider breathing. Maybe. Looks like they're actually going to give me a fresh one anyway. Okay. Alrighty then, this seems fine to me. Now the plan, boys, the plan is simple. We are going to retreat out of the active with this Sylveon. We're going to discard the Dark Energy. We're going to go into this Moltres. We can use the Moltres' ability here to get that energy back. We can also evolve into a Syvleon VMAX, which I like. We're going to use Training Court. We're going to Rapid Strike Search. Let's grab a copy of Rapid Strike Urshifu. I like that. I like that a lot. We could potentially get a knockout with that next turn if we need to. I'm just going to play down a bunch of cards, and then we're going to Aura Burn, and this will one-shot the VMAX, 380 damage, which is pretty gosh darn good if you ask me. And now, we are in a very interesting position. We've got ourselves a Sylveon which could potentially take a knockout on this Shadow Rider with 130 damage on it already. And we also have the boss in hand. So if they do elect to leave the active position, which they may very well do, then we are in a great position to win the game. We could also just top deck Raihan and attack again with Moltres, but we want to attack with Sylveon. Sylveon is the key. We want to get that damage done with the card that was big on the thumbnail, or otherwise all of the people that watch this video will be incredibly sad. And they'll be like, Mitch, you put Sylveon on it, and then you played Moltres the whole time. I mean, I like that, personally. But other people might not. They might not like the fact that you don't attack with the Sylveon. In fact, you're definitely not attacking with the Rapid Strike Urshifu. You put that on the thumbnail as well. You're a big liar. And to you people, I say, that's fair enough. But you know what? It's going to work. So, let's not split hairs here. I'm just going to keep rambling until eventually the game ends. It looks like they've knocked out the Moltres, which was the plan all along. Now we can promote the Sylveon. We've got Energy Search in hand. We've got money if we need it, but we don't, because we want to use Boss. What are you talking about, Mitch? We're going to throw the energy on the active. We're going to Quick Ball. I'm going to get rid of this Urshifu. We want one more different colored Pokemon, and Oranguru will do the job. He is a normal type. Let's boss up this Shadow Rider, and then we can max Harmony for the game. Now the thumbnail is justified. Now you can't complain. Sylveon VMAX. Whew. It's got all the tricks. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie to you. This deck is pretty good. Playability-wise, I'm giving it an A, but it's very mixed across the board. Consistency-wise, it's got too many pieces, frankly. I am surprised that it's doing so well, especially this version. There's just a lot going on. Value, this is not a cheap deck at all. I definitely would not recommend this one for a budget player, but it's fun, you know, it's fun enough. It's got all the different colors that you can use to hit all the other colors for weakness. I'm giving it a B-. It's competitive and it's strong, but I don't know if it's necessarily as consistent as it should be if you want it to be a top-tier deck. So there we have it, Sylveon, obviously a decent deck indeed. It's got all the bits, it does all the things, it just isn't quite as consistent as I would like. I will say this, for the people that have watched to the end, I played I would have played tens of games with Sylveon, and I got maybe 4 or 5 wins out of 10, let's just say, and only 2 of them were worth showing you. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt if you'd like. I don't know, it's up to you. Do whatever you like, as long as you like the video, because that would be great. I'd really appreciate that. The more you like the video, the more it gets spread to other people. It's like a disease, except a good one, because I'm in it. I don't know. Let's stop this one right now. I'm just going to end the video now. We're going to awkwardly go out to the outro. Thank you everyone for coming. This is a strange one. Goodbye.